When it comes to your goals, are you actually accomplishing them, or are you just making them and forgetting them? We're going to be talking about thinking about your goals and how to actually get those goals to become accomplished this week on episode 154 of The Relaxed Male. This is The Relaxed Male, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. All right, so this week we are going to sound a little different. Hopefully I am getting the room noise under control a bit, but if not, and we get a little bit of an echo, hopefully Alphonic will be able to take care of the other. I am in a new place today. We're going to be recording this show in a completely new area for quite a while. And where I'm at now is the reason why this particular topic came up today. I wanted to use myself as an example of what is possible for you. And what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to get into that. But before we actually fully jump headfirst into the topic today, I wanted to say, man, thank you all very much. We are still growing. We're still getting more and more men to come up to the show, start listening to the show, start getting information, and start actually applying it and changing their lives. And so, guys, I thank you again. If this is your first time to the show, man, hello, welcome. Don't forget to hit subscribe or follow on whichever your podcast platform of choice is, because that way you get every episode of The Relaxed Male delivered to your phone or iPad or tablet or computer or whatever it is that you use. You get that delivered every Thursday, which is when this episode gets released. On to the actual show. Let's go ahead and we're looking at your goals. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? We all are striving, hungering for something to do, something in our life, something that will make our lives more fulfilling. We want to be fulfilled. We do stuff for the sole fact that we want to be fulfilled, and we want to have the happiness, the sense of accomplishment that comes from being fulfilled by our actions. It's not that our family will help us be fulfilled. It's the fact that we have our thoughts about that fulfillment that actually allows us to have these wonderful thoughts and to have these feelings and to have these wonderful times about us. And this is the reason why we do stuff. This is the reason why we actually no matter what you want to call it, whether it's to make money or to have the wife be happy with us or whatever excuse you want to give, if you boil it down, it's because we get up out of bed in hopes that we will be able to find fulfillment. And the problem that with a lot of guys is that we don't. We get up, we go to work, we do what we need to do, and then we head home. And we sit down in the front of the couch and we sit there and we just kind of become a part of the couch. We become that lump on a log. And the next morning, we rinse, repeat, do it again. So what are those guys who are just sitting there doing nothing, doing wrong? They, at one time or another, they had to have had a dream. And I bet you're right. They did. They had some type of dream. They had a thought that they wanted to have take off. They had an idea, a dream of what they wanted to be. They had a dream of where they wanted to go in life. But yet here they are. They are just another second shift stiff going to work and having the feeling that they're wasting their life away. How do they keep that from happening? And that's what I wanted to talk about. How do you help your dreams come true? Well, there's a neat little thing that happens, and people call it all sorts of different things. But most people call it by the law of attraction. And this is I've been able to apply this a couple, 3 times throughout my life. One, the house that I live in, I had probably 2 years before, realizing that I was getting close to 30 years old and had not owned a house yet. I firmly had the belief, and I still think it is a good belief to have, that part of the American dream is to have a house, to own a piece of property, have a little, and it's 4 lots, so it's not tiny, microscopic. It's not like I'm living in the inner city where, our front yard is 4 blades of grass wide, but in the grand scheme of what I want nowadays, it's a little bitty patch of land. It's barely big enough to put a whole horse on, and I've got a Great Dane, and that's a lot of, that's a lot of land that you got to have. But, I wanted to own a house. Now, is it exactly the house that I wanted? No, I wasn't that specific, to be honest with you. I wanted to own a house, and I wrote it down. I said, by the time I turn 30, I want to own a house. And that didn't happen. It didn't actually kick in and start actually happening until a couple other opportunities kicked in. But eventually I was able to get a house. I own the house, making payments to it every month. It is my house. Now, the second time that this happened just really kicked in last week. And that is whenever I started driving a truck for the company that I just finished working for. And yeah, I've stepped out of the truck. I am now officially out of the truck, working 2 jobs at the same time, essentially. And it is a great move that I have made. But the reason why I am out is I attribute it to my thoughts. I attribute that to the fact that, yes, whenever I first started up hopping into truck 36 that I used to drive, I sat with the owner of the company. He had actually brought the truck over, and we sat and we talked for 10, 15 minutes or so. And he's like, well, how long do you plan on being here? I said, I'm going to be here at the minimum of 2 years, the max 3 years. And he's like, well, what's going to happen then? And I said, I'm going to get out and I'm going to have my own job. I'm going to have my own business. I started that job in October of 2019. November 2022, I actually got out. Damn near 3 years to the day. I was able to get out of that truck. How did I actually accomplish that? There is a lot of things that were, if you wanted to look at it this way, a lot of stuff about that is just beyond my control. But yet those pieces fell into place, because what happened is about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I got a call from a good friend of mine, and he was like, hey, dude, what's it going to take to get you out of that truck? And I told him the price that it would take to just get me out of the truck and have me working for him. And he said, dude, I could do that. We can swing that. And he started talking about what his idea was, what he wanted me to do for him. And I was like, dude, yeah, I could do that. That's no problem. You're going to pay me that amount of money for that? And it wasn't an exorbitant amount of money. It's $6,000 a month is what I told him. And he goes, and he's like, no problem. But I come to find out, if I was to do $6,000 a month, I'm going to end up only having about 6 months worth of runway to go. So I went ahead and I knocked it down a little bit and turned it into $5,000 a month. That gives me about 7 months of runway to go. And what he wants me to do is be able to take his business and double the income for it, the revenue, double the business. I don't know all the business terms as of yet, but apparently revenue and income and that all have different meanings. And so I'm still learning that. But you're going, whoa. If you don't even know the differences between the terms, how are you going to increase the money, the amount of money coming into the company? And you want to know what the actual answer is? I don't have a clue. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I know what the goal is. I have a goal of at 6 months, this company is going to make twice as much as what it makes right now. And that is all because I'm using the very same techniques that I used to actually get out of the truck. What are these techniques? What are these amazing techniques that seem to work? This magic formula. And I'm going to let you know, there's no magic to it. A lot of people want to attribute to magic, say that it's the universe or God, some higher power that is helping you do this. And yeah, to a point, this is a higher power. This is somebody who is coming along and doing something that you are not willing to do. You've got the power to accomplish all this. And that higher power is actually what's sitting in between your head. Now, I'm not saying there's no such thing as God. I do know there's such thing as a God. The Lord our God resides up in heaven, but He gave us all of the knowledge and the power to be able to make and institute incredible changes in our life. So He's given us all the tools so that we can accomplish what we want to do. Now, a lot of people hear the laws of attraction, and I'll go and look on the laws of attraction subreddit from time to time, and it's really sad because you got people like, I need to make $1 million within the next 6 months. How do I get the laws of attraction to do that? Well, the fact that you are just now trying to figure out how to get laws of attraction to work at that short of a time, you're probably not going to make it. Not to mention the fact that you're actually asking a question like that tells me that you've got too many opposing thoughts to actually get that law of attraction to actually work. And I'm sitting here in this office. I could see our backdoor neighbor's dog or dogs were just let out. And this dog is squat and has been peeing for, I think we're going on a full minute now, and has not moved, just flowing water. Amazing. I don't know. Maybe he's locked up. This is okay. So let's say it was a minute from the time I first mentioned that. So he's still sitting there peeing. This dog must have been half a bladder. He's still going. Poor dude. Gee, he's still actually sitting here just going. Wow. And he's done. Holy smokes. Woo. Needed to pee like no one's business. Holy smokes. I felt sorry for that dude. Wow. That has to have been the longest state of peeing I have ever known any man or animal to do. Wow. Okay. So now that I've completely, I have completely blown my line of thinking. That's just, my gas is flabbered. I tell you. Wow. I'm going to have to start closing my blinds if I'm doing this, because good grief. Wow. I feel better after that one. So anyhow, so how do, you get these guys who want to know how to utilize the laws of attraction to bring in a certain amount of money. And the fact is that you get people who want to know how to bring in money, how to activate the laws of attraction and not do anything. And that is one of the biggest misconceptions about the laws of attraction. It's not that you just don't get to do something. And you actually don't have a set amount of time. Now, mine turned out to be just about right, but that doesn't mean that it's always works to that exactness. So how do you follow your dreams? Well, you do a lot like what I did. You first state it. You know what you want. And that means you actually have to start setting up your mind to where you have that focus. So how do you actualize your dreams? You first allow yourself to dream. That's the biggest thing out of it all. Learn that you can dream. You can have a dream of something. If you think it's ludicrous, then it's going to end up being ludicrous. You have to start thinking positively and actually look at those dreams as something that you are capable of doing. You do that and you're 90% of the way there. Because once you actually have a dream, say you want to start your own business, you want to have $1 million business. Beautiful. All right. How are you going to make that $1 million business? Well, I don't know. Well, that's number 2. You've made your dream. You've got your dream. You've got it. You've stated it out. You want to have $1 million business. Next is to plan. How are you going to do that? You don't need to know every little minute detail. Those details will get worked into place as you go. But you have to start with a plan. Know and work with what you know, with the points that you know. And as you dig deeper and you start learning about the different aspects of what you need to know to actually make $1 million out of business, those details will become available. So once you get your initial plan drawn out, and I would recommend you grab a piece of paper and you write that down. Write down what your dream is. Big bold letters right across the top. Might even use a Sharpie and scribble on there. $1 million business. All right. Now underline it. Then write down your plan. Start out with a 10-step plan. All right. What's the business going to be about? What's it going to be do? And get all the details of what this $1 million business is going to be. Then you start setting goals. And those goals are and I use the SMART goal style. I don't follow the SMART goal style, but whenever I'm setting a goal, it is a SMART goal. Specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and timely. So specific. $1 million business by when do you want that business to make $1 million? Next week. Okay. Well, that's not attainable. All right. You've got a lot of mental work that you have to do to be able to make it attainable. So that's why I recommend a specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, timely. And also making $1 million tomorrow is not relatable. You cannot relate to $1 million yet. It sounds nice. Sounds like it's a really good deal, but it's something that you really aren't in the position to be able to make yet. So specific business makes $1 million by what date? 5 years from now. Can you make $1 million in 5 years? By 5 years? Yeah. I bet you probably could start making $1 million a year in 5 years. You got to bust your butt, but you can do it. So that reaches the measurable because you're measuring zero because your circumstance is the scorecard. That's what money is. It's nothing more than a scorecard. Can you make 1 million points in 1 year from your business? Somebody may give you 5 points. Another person may give you 5,000 points. You can kind of see points, dollars, very much equatable to each other. You can measure with those points. You can measure with that. And the timely is the deadline, 5 years from right now. So you give it November 11th is when I'm recording this. So November 11th of 2027, your business is going to make $1 million and is going to be making $1 million a year by that time. That fits the specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, timely. Write those goals down. Write that main goal of $1 million business in 5 years. Write that out onto Post-it notes, sticky notes, index cards. No, it doesn't matter. Make it several different copies of it. Take that card and put it on your mirror when you're brushing your teeth, shaving your face, whatever. Put it in a Ziploc baggie and, find some way of tacking it to the shower wall. Take it and put it onto beside the television. So you're looking at it when you're sitting in front of the television. Set it around so that you're always looking at it. Have it stuffed in the visor of your car. So when you bring your visor down, you see $1 million business, 5 years. And ask yourself a question on there if you want. Where are you? How's it going? What's the next step needing to be? Doesn't mean you to make excuses. You just state what is the next step that needs to be done. Look at that goal, answer that goal on a daily basis. Then you turn around and you tell the people who you trust, who supports you of your goal. Tell them about your goal. So if you have a group of men, your band of brothers, and y'all are meeting on a regular basis, and you go, dude, I'm fixing to do something really crazy here. I'm making $1 million in 5 years. This is what I'm doing. You lay it out. You tell it all to them. You let them poke holes in it so you can strengthen it. And from there, you keep that thought in the middle of at the forefront of your mind, and not in the middle of your brain. You want to have it at the front of your brain. And what you're going to do is, because you've got that setting in your mind, our brains, beautiful organs that they are nothing more than biocomputers. All right. One, they work very hard to make sure that you do not get killed. All right. They are do not get killed devices. So they're going to avoid doing the unexpected, the uncomfortable. And that's one reason why you want to make sure that you keep your goal at the front of your mind, because getting your brain used to the fact of thinking of $1 million and being okay with looking at $1 million and going, yeah, I'm going to be making that. There's no problem with making $1 million. Who cares if you make $1 million? Once I make $1 million, I'm going to make 2. And once I get 2, I'm going to do 4 and 8, 16, 32, 32, 64 to, 128, 214, and it just keeps growing. And you keep trying to make more and more money. There's nothing wrong with making money. A lot of people have a very negative thought about money. And when you can actually remove that negative thought about money, you actually are going to attract money to you even more. Because I know a lot of people like to think that money is evil. And no, money is just a circumstance. It is neutral. There's no positive or negative to money. It is nothing more than a tool. It's a means of keeping score. And so if you keep score and you see that, hey, you're making 100 million points in a year, awesome, man. Why are you feeling bad about making 100 million points in a year? Well, my good friend only made 50,000 points last year. Yeah. That's because he didn't want to make 100 million points. He may say he does, but he's not taking the actions needed to actually do what's needed to make 100 million points, or in reality's terms, $100 million. There's a lot of thought work that goes into it, and you have to make sure that you focus in on what those thoughts, and keep the thoughts positive. Because with the laws of attraction, if you believe you can do it, you believe it will happen, you believe it's going to be, and then you turn around and go, well, it's a fun little experiment. Then you're telling your brain, yeah, I believe this, but it's not important. It's not serious. And so your brain's not going to make it serious because you just told it. You plugged into the programming port. It's not an important thing. It's not serious. All right. So, and it's just going to not work on it. If you act like it's something serious, if you convince your mind that this is something serious, you're going to get this done and it's going to be done within the next 5 years, your brain's going to go, all right, we need to start looking for reasons on why we are making $1 million. And here's reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4, reason 5. And it's going to keep coming up with reasons that show you that you are making progress. It's going to be on the lookout. It's going to be paying attention to that radar going, and opportunity at 180, 4 miles ahead. All right. So it's going to bring in those different, when it finds the opportunities, it's going to draw it to your attention. It's going to go, hey, we've got an opportunity coming up here. Go after it. And you're going to notice that opportunity and you're going to take action on that. You're more likely to take action on that opportunity. That is, unless you let your thoughts overrun, what that opportunity is. Cause it may be that all of a sudden you've got to make an investment and you're going, oh yeah, I don't have the money. You're going to listen. You want to start listening to your brain go, dude, this is a big move. You don't want to do this. And if your brain makes that type of judgment call and you let it run its course, then all of a sudden it's going to go, okay, good. It's wanting to test you and go, is it really that important that you make $1 million in the 5 years? Okay. See, okay. You just made a thought that tells me that it's not all that important. That's cool. We're going to set that off to the side. Okay. Whew. You were close there. You had us going for a moment, and so make sure that you're always putting the positive side, the desire that you want, and do not let people step in between you and that dream. Because people, your friends, your family, if they know that you're making $1 million within a year, that's going to really bring up thoughts amongst them. Your wife is going to get afraid that you're going to all of a sudden start making $1 million and you're going to go find somebody else who is worthy of that $1 million because she doesn't think she's worth $1 million. And so she's going to try to make sure that you stay down in the $50,000 range because you know what? I'm comfortable. She's comfortable with being a $50,000 wife. To try to expand up and out and become $1 million wife, that's really out of her comfort zone. She doesn't know what to do. And that's where you're going to have to just kind of be okay with the fact that she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't need to know what to do. She can be okay with her own thoughts because you're the one bringing in the $1 million. So why does it work? It works because our brain tells us to. Because you have the ability, the power, the tools to make good things happen in your life. Why do bad things happen? Well, because we think of the bad things. We put ourselves into situations where the bad things happen. That's where if you think about having your tire go flat, you're going to do something that's going to cause your tire to go flat, whether you do it subconsciously or intentionally. Something's going to happen where you're going to end up having a flat tire. And if you're always telling yourself, you know what, I'm always late to the big meetings. Nothing goes right whenever those meetings. Well, you're setting yourself up for that very failure. So you have to learn to and start paying attention to what the thoughts you are having are. And when you start actually doing that, you're going to find that life becomes a heck of a lot better because you're not letting yourself focus in on the shortcomings of your life. You're getting the job done, and that's what you're after. You want to make that $100 million business. So you have to start thinking, hey, this is a $100 million business even before you make $100 million. You've got to start thinking this is $100 million before you even made your first $1,000. You have to start acting like it is what you're wanting it to be. When you do that, things start happening. I was getting out of this truck within 2 to 3 years. I got out of the truck in 3 years and 1 month. Actually, 3 years and 2 weeks, if I wanted to get a little closer. Because I know I am getting this coaching business moving. I know I am going to make a very profitable, lucrative business because of this. I know I'm going to hit $1 million. I know I'm going to take that $1 million and I'm going to fold it into the business and I'm going to turn it into $100 million. The time range on that? Don't know. I think 100 million is probably going to be about 10 years. But I'm really not focused in deeply with the 100 million as much as I am to make the first million. Actually, I want to make the first 20,000 in a month. That's really what I want to do first. I make 20,000 in a month. I'm rolling. So, guys, with that, I want to say thank you very much for listening. Thank you for everything that you have done, and take the time to actually dream. Allow yourself to just ask, what if? What would happen if X, Y, and Z happened? What would be the most wonderful thing that could actually happen in your life? That's the question. What? All you have to do is sit and dream. Can you dream and have good things come about? Yeah, you can. All you have to do, though, is take the first step and actually voice that dream. Say it out loud. Tell the people that you know. Tell the universe what you want. And you can attain what you're after. Now, if you're having trouble with this, if maybe you've tried it once, twice, 3 times before, and it's failed you before, and you're not sure exactly what you're doing wrong, I want you to go over to relaxedmale.com/coaching, fill out the consult form, and send it over to me. What I'll do is I'll get it. We'll we'll look at that time, and we'll sit down. We'll spend about an hour and a half of talking to each other. Maybe have a little mini session in there and get ourselves a plan of action worked out. And if it works, awesome, great. You can set up a time to when we actually start meeting on a very regular basis. Or, I may have just helped you with that one little mini session, and you're good to go and you're off to the races. Either way is completely up to you. But if you need that help, know that I'm here. I'd love to be able to help you. But also, before we go, if this podcast episode resonated with you and is just ringing true on so many different levels for you, take this episode and share it out with the guys you know. Share it out onto your Facebook, your Twitter, take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, share it all the different social media sites. Maybe you're on Ecency, you're on Peak D, or you're on, Parler, Getter, Gab, I don't know, whatever podcast or whatever social media sites you like to peruse, go there, have a listen, watch, understand, get to know what people are thinking, and help them out by sharing this podcast episode with them. Let them know, hey, there's this guy out there. He is doing everything he can to help change the lives of men so that they can become great men, so that they can become the men their wives need, become the men that their children need, become the men that their community needs. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get men to start taking a stand and stepping up, instead of being just the ho-hum type of guy who's just being portrayed in sitcoms as the bumbling buffoon. You're not a bumbling buffoon. You are a man. And we are going to change society and change it in a way to where they start respecting men for the sake of being men again. So guys, with that, thank you again for listening. Y'all have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next week. So till then, bye.